Hare Krishna and welcome to the Arsa-Prayoga YouTube channel. Here we look at Śrīla Prabhupāda's changed books, like the posthumously or post-samadhi editions of Śrīla Prabhupāda's books have been changed. In other words, they have been changed after his departure without his authorization. And there are many needless and also philosophical changes to his books. And some of these philosophical changes are actually changes to the cover art of the books and also the pictures inside. So today we'll be looking at a comparison between the original cover of The Perfection of Yoga by Śrīla Prabhupāda, and as you can see here in the video on the screen, you can see that the original is on the left and there is a new cover on the right. And I guess this is the newest cover in English. But there are many covers because even though Śrīla Prabhupāda said that in all the different languages the cover should be the same, for all the translations we have, they should have the same cover, that instruction is certainly not followed. So we find sometimes between 5 and 10 different covers, depending on which language or which not even which language, but also just which edition or what the whims were of the people just making that particular printing at that particular time. So if they liked a certain new cover, they wanted a new cover, they just made it. But we'll look at this at The Perfection of Yoga here, the cover, and this was there was a devotee friend of mine who guided me to this new cover. And he wrote an article here, which I also have on my website, and maybe we can just take a look at that one. So it's called Krishna No Longer the Perfection of Yoga by Lord Krishna Das. And he's writing here, here's an interesting example of what editing can lead to. A present-day cover printed by BPT International and a photo of what the book originally looked like. Krishna is no longer depicted as the perfection of yoga. Asanas are. And then we have this quote from Śrīla Prabhupāda. And the covers, if possible, should always be the same for each respective book, regardless of what language it may be printed in. So Prabhupada said that in 75, and we can see here this new cover, which, you can't see anything about Krishna or Bhakti Yoga, Vaishnavism, whereas in the original one, of course, we have Krishna speaking to Arjuna, and His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada is written with very big letters, whereas here is comparatively quite smaller. But anyway, let's go back to the article here, which I'm calling Krishna No Longer the Perfection of Yoga Revisited, because I had a few points that I wanted to make. So let's read. Arsa-Prayoga.com Revisited is the title of an upcoming ebook that continues the work begun here on Arsa-Prayoga.com. It re-examines the changes made to Śrīla Prabhupāda's original books from new angles and explains why each alteration is significant. So this ebook here that I'm gradually making, I'll be revisiting many of the articles made on this website, Arsa-Prayoga.com. And I made articles here, the website. I've had the Arsa-Prayoga.com up and running since I think 2013, so it's like 12 years. So there are many articles that I'm revisiting now. So today we are revisiting Krishna No Longer the Perfection of Yoga. Description. An original cover of The Perfection of Yoga, published during Śrīla Prabhupāda's presence, depicts Lord Krishna instructing Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukṣetra. The newer version replaces this sacred scene with a modern abstract image, a silhouetted yoga figure against a cosmic background, accompanied by planetary symbols and a hummingbird. Type of change: visual substitution, replacement of the original painting with a completely different concept. Category: philosophical change. Commentary. The original cover, revelation and surrender. The first edition's painting is not just devotional art, it is theology in color. It captures the divine dialogue of the Bhagavad Gita, the Supreme Lord imparting transcendental knowledge to the bewildered soul. Krishna's gesture expresses both compassion and authority, while Arjuna's posture shows humility and surrender. This image teaches before one even opens the book. It tells the reader, here is yoga in its highest form, the union between the soul and Krishna through surrender and service. The visual message aligns perfectly with Śrīla Prabhupāda's text, where yoga culminates not in physical postures or impersonal meditation, but in bhakti yoga, devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The new cover, Abstraction and Self-Centered Spirituality. The new cover shifts the entire philosophical mood. The central figure is no longer Arjuna receiving revelation, but a lone silhouette performing an asana, an emblem of modern yoga culture. The background with its planets, abstract lights, and hovering bird suggests cosmic energy and mysticism rather than divine personality. The focus has moved from Krishna to the individual practitioner. The very idea of quote-unquote perfection is reframed from surrender to the Supreme to self-realization through posture and mental discipline. The new imagery reflects the psychology of self-help and the commercial yoga industry, rather than the theology of bhakti. The consequence from tattva to marketing. This shift is not cosmetic. It mirrors the broader editorial problem. Once Krishna is removed from the center visually or textually, everything else changes. The meaning of yoga becomes sentimental and speculative. Where the original cover anchored the reader in tattva, spiritual truth, the new one drifts toward Mayavad aesthetics, the impersonal mood of energy, light, and universal consciousness. It exchanges humility for abstraction, devotion for design. Śrīla Prabhupāda's original books were meant to preach, not to conform. The old cover declared the eternal truth of Krishna consciousness. The new one markets a diluted idea of spirituality. In short, the original cover preaches, the new cover advertises. And that change from revelation to representation, from Shabda Pramana, divine authority, to Manusha Pramana, human taste, is the essence of Arsa-Prayoga, or in other words, it is the violation of the Arsa-Prayoga principle. Hare Krishna. So thank you for watching, and if you would like to see more videos about the changes to Śrīla Prabhupāda's books, please subscribe to this YouTube channel and also turn on the notifications so that you'll receive an update when there are new videos. And you can also visit Arsa-Prayoga.com, my website that we were reading from, and there are many articles about the changes to Śrīla Prabhupāda's books, and there's also videos, and there are ebooks that you can download and see for yourself, educate yourself about what really happened to Śrīla Prabhupāda's books and why you should not be reading the newer ones, but reading the ones that Śrīla Prabhupada actually authorized. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.